Thanks once again for staying with us. Now, first, President John Mahama has stated that Ghana is prepared to serve a bridge between the Economic Community of West African States and the Alliance of Sahelian States to ensure mutual understanding and cooperation. Speaking during a state visit to Mali as part of his Good Neighborliness Tour, which will also take him to Burkina Faso and Niger, he emphasized that despite the differences between ECOWAS and AES, collaboration remains possible if both sides commit to working together in good faith. President Mahama's visit comes at the critical time when relations between ECOWAS and AES remain strained following the withdrawal of Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger from ECOWAS.
And finally, we discussed the revival of the Permanent Joint Commission for Cooperation between Mali and Ghana. The last meeting was in 2011 in Accra, and the next meeting was supposed to take place here, but due to some circumstances it didn't happen, and so we're looking to revive it so that as early as possible we can send our technical team to come and sit with our Malian counterparts and discuss how we can increase and strengthen the cooperation that exists between our two countries. We discussed it, and we recognize that there's been some issues of trust, problems with trust between the two groups, but at the same time, I think that we must establish mutual respect for each other, and I'm sure that if we're able to do that, we can continue to work together. I think that it's a choice that Mali, Burkina Faso and Niger have taken, but that won't be an impediment in us continuing to have our bilateral relations with all those countries. We're brothers, and God put us in this sub-region for a purpose, and so whether we like it or not, we have to live together. And so I think that we must establish a mutual respect between the AES and ECOWAS. And I'm sure that if we're able to build on that respect and trust, we should be able to work together. I'm an old face because I've been president before. I've been chairman of ECOWAS before. But again, I'm a new face because I was just elected. And so Ghana is prepared to continue to play the role of a bridge between our two groups, the ECOWAS and the Alliance of Sahelian States.
During its discussion with Mali's transitional president, Assimi Goïta, he also stressed the importance of stronger defense cooperation between Ghana and Mali in the fight against terrorism. He reiterated that terrorism in one country is a threat to all, emphasizing the need for enhanced regional collaboration to deal with security challenges in West Africa.
Long time, our countries trade amongst each other. Our people travel freely amongst each other. There's a big Malian population living in Ghana. They are involved in business. They are settled peacefully in Ghana. They're actually citizens of both Ghana and Mali. And so we had the opportunity to discuss how we can make our economic relations even stronger. And we also have a transit corridor. A lot of long-distance drivers, both Malian and Ghanaians, convey goods from our ports to Mali and transport goods from Mali back to our port for export. And so we discussed how we can remove the challenges so that it's easy for these drivers who are involved in the transit of goods to be able to do their work without any problems. And most importantly, we discussed issues of how we can strengthen our defense cooperation in the light of the fight against terrorism and how Ghana can be of help in terms of cooperating with the Alliance AES in terms of the fight against terrorism, because we all occupy the same sub-region, and terrorism in one country is a threat to all of us. And so we had quite a discussion on how we can strengthen our bilateral relations in terms of the fight against terrorism.
Also, Ghana's Vice President, Professor Jenano Pokwajiman, is calling for bold and decisive action to end violence against women. Speaking at the 2025 National Women's Dialogue, she urged men to take a stand against all forms of human rights violation. Stephen Mensah has more in this following report.
Despite efforts to bridge the gender gap, thousands of girls in Ghana continue to face barriers that hinder their education and well-being. UNESCO reports that over 192,500 students drop out of school annually, with more than 102,000 being girls. Speaking at the event, Vice President Opukwa Jiman acknowledged the progress made, but emphasized the urgent need to do more to empower girls and secure their future.
Whether human trafficking, domestic violence, accusations of witchcraft, and the resulting instant justice, child marriage, female genital mutilation, or sexual violence, all of these demand our sustained action.
She reiterated her advocacy for the full implementation of the Affirmative Action Act.
You know, the Affirmative Action Act now beckons. We all need to make good uses of the opportunities in the supreme interest of our country, of our women in particular. I don't believe it is only a matter of counting, although that is important. The counting must go beyond the numbers and translate into effective policies. I'm very happy to report that this time too, we have placed the supply of sanitary pads in our manifesto, and that our current Minister for Education, Honorable Haruna Idrisu, has taken immediate action on it.
She also called for sustained public dialogue on both the achievements and challenges women face, stressing the need for long-term solutions to address the high dropout rate among girls.
I suggest we sustain public dialogue on our achievements as well as on our challenges. If we stop denying, if we stop pretending that our problems don't exist and they surface only one day in the year, we will not be on our way to confronting persistent issues, going beyond debates, one-day celebrations, and rather launch into effective action. We must choose to end all forms of violence against women and girls, in whatever form it may take, in whatever rationale we can profess for it.
Meanwhile, Ghana Bar Association President Ifwa Gatti has hinted at plans to ease the financial burden women face in accessing legal support.
With the Ghana Bar Association, as part of our objectives, we are rolling out legal aid clinics and seminars. It hasn't reached the recognition that we wanted to reach, but a lot of lawyers grant pro bono services for now. We are giving it the necessary structure. So definitely if you have issues and you require funding, there are some bodies that you can approach.
With ongoing government initiatives and growing public awareness, the call for real action on women's rights continues. But the question remains, will these efforts be enough to create lasting change? Stephen Mensa's report for JoyNews.
Away from that, Finance Minister Dr. Kasiela Tuforsen visited traders at Makola Market, engaging with market women, kayayes and other vendors ahead of the 2025 budget presentation on Tuesday, March 11. The interaction, which he described as a privilege, provided an opportunity to hear their concerns and expectations. Dr. Forsen assured them that their input will be considered in shaping economic policies. The visit ended with a commitment to addressing their needs in the upcoming budget.
Some markets, business you man, and I'm a man to but the business in the shape here. Ma, Jumana and
Oh, Sunday, you know, China. Maybe I must say $1 cost. Yes, we are in the dollar of Ghana. I had to see. Me see, Mahama, me, Na mu na mu ka tell say me 30 years ni me to abada.
Ono na wasoma me 7 bra.
After we pe na me to abama me person on black. Nti ya fa mu cho.
In Ghana, our price are lost because of the dollar. It's never to me stable. Remember, yes, the price now about now the local markets, the consumer interest in the action. Having problems in face.
Yeah, my first problem is here. Means me contract. I'm making all this year.
What is the problem?
The problem was the price has increased. It was 1,350, but now it is 1,750. Just 3 weeks.
Just 3 weeks.
Yes.
From 1,350.
Yes, 2,350.
To 1,750.
I was returning back.
Oh wow.
The way now the price I gave it to me over there, and now that it has increased about double, I can't afford.
Good. Good to see you. That's it.
Oh, a heavy rainstorm in Buya and Wea communities in the Kwandai district has killed one person and caused massive destruction. This has led to the displacement of many in the area. The storm, which began late evening, brought heavy winds and torrential rains that destroyed an estimated amount of 100 houses, rendering scores of people homeless.
The storm's impact was felt far beyond the physical destruction of their homes. The residents reported losing essential belongings, including books, and are now struggling to come to terms with the loss. The affected communities are appealing for aid. The area coordinator of the Wee electoral area has called on the MP for the area and philanthropists to come to their aid.
There was a heavy rainstorm that hit us some days ago. It was so terrible that it destroyed our homes. Our foodstuff is lying in the open. Our children's books and other belongings were all spoiled. So we are appealing to the MP and others who can help to come to our aid. We have actually lost a lot.
The son of the deceased, Yasagma Nelson, shared an account of how his father passed away during the rescue effort.
It was on Wednesday, around 4 to 5. And so now Muna to the extent say you cry.
The clouds gathered and was so thick that we even call it a storm. The wind lifted the roof and it landed back in the room. My father, who has been sick, was in there. So my brother rushed in to lift him out, even though the roof didn't hit him. But we believe it was a panic attack that led to his death.
Another resident, Ochiame Kofi B, expressed concerns about the long-term impact of the disaster on the community, particularly on the well-being of their children.
My roof is gone. Currently, we do not have a place to sleep. So we are appealing for help. We are really suffering. The kids cannot go to school, and I cannot go to the farm either. Even food to eat is a problem. Please come to our aid.
Martina Bugri, my colleague, joins us with more on this particular story. Martina, what do we know so far after this disaster, maybe, if we're allowed to use that word? Do we know whether NADMO or any government official has come to their aid so far?
As of yesterday, none of these mentioned had been there, and the people were actually desperate, appealing for help. Because as we speak now, some are seeking shelters with neighbors, and those whose homes, portions were destroyed, and they can still manage risking their lives in these already torn buildings, which means that they are at risk. And then those who have friends they can go and pet with have done that. Another worrying situation is food for them to eat. Like you heard, so the books of their children are all gone. So it means that these children, even when they go back to school, would have a challenge because they do not have books. Now, it didn't just affect only homes. It also affected portions of the SCIPS compound. The nurses' quarters in that area was destroyed. And then their ANC pavilion was also gone. And then the kindergarten, the DA kindergarten, the DA kindergarten was also destroyed. And so it's a devastating issue. And all they can say is they need help from outside.
Martina, do we know whether this has happened before in this particular community?
Yes, so 3 weeks ago we had a similar situation, not these communities, but the same enclave, and there was massive destruction again. We had over 60 houses in one community, and in total we had over 100 plus homes that were destroyed, including schools. And so this is not the first time. In just 3 weeks, we have had 2 disasters in that enclave.
Martin, again, paint a clearer picture. So 2 communities, Buya and We, you say, in the Pandai district. Where are they very close to, so we're able to tell people exactly what has happened?
So in the northern region, Pandai shares boundaries with Williamsey. And then when you leave Pandai, you are entering the Oti region. So these communities are dotted in between these 2 boundaries that I have mentioned.
Okay, and so you can confirm before I let you go that up until yesterday evening, nobody from NADMO or no help has been given so far?
Exactly, so no help had come, and they were appealing that people come to their aid.
Right, thank you, Martina, for bringing us that report. Well, away from that, Global Peace Ambassador Dr. Sam Owusu has raised concerns over the low level of public sensitization on peace, warning that it could be a recipe for disaster if not addressed. Speaking at an event organized by an international association of world peace advocates, Dr. Owusu, who also serves as a country director for the association, emphasized the urgent need for continuous education on peace building, especially in the wake of Ghana's recent elections. He stressed that while the country's security remains strong, public awareness and engagement in maintaining peace must be intensified.
The remarks at an event organized by the International Association of World Peace Advocates to deliberate on how the country can consolidate its long-lasting peace after the elections. According to him, Dr. Sam Owusu, who is also the country director of the IAWPA, the forum is necessary because maintaining the peace and security of Ghana is more important now than ever, and such a forum will be instrumental achieving it.
Na yato abani wie ye hu basa bebre ai si akire nkrofo sese ne ma bebre bi mu kra hwere o nkwa ye nim kra nipa be 4 na 5 to 6 de o wa hwere o nkwa up to na ye nte ho hwe nti na as a association International Association of World Peace Advocates say be medimu tuntin me ye Ghana United Nations Peace Ambassador no e wo se me ye tenase na me ye toto adwene ye frefrem penifo a omuka bia wo mu ne nyina ba ne be kire adwene se ehu nya se de bia ye beto aba be wie ne basabasa e be di o ma no so ne ye be ye basabasa ne ade ye kwan ye no ya hwe ne yada kwa beje ye nsem.
He also expressed worry over the lack of intensity in sensitizing people on matters of peace. He said, though the country's security appears more robust, little attention has been paid to educating the public on the need to maintain peace.
Nyamia dia fofie pa se oman no enti ase bebre wo ho ne ye wa asomdwe wo oman nim na wo hwa the security agencies ne de nyina ye adwuma nanso asomdwe hu da wurubo na asomdwe ho education training ene asomdwe kafo enno so wo man nim.
Also, a new initiative dubbed Empowering Better Life Foundation has been outlawed in dedication to fostering holistic well-being and empowerment for children, adolescents and vulnerable communities, spearheaded by Alma Pokua-Adade-Prempeh, spouse of the 2024 NPP vice presidential candidate. The foundation aims to create a society that prioritizes mental health, inclusive education, menstrual hygiene and financial literacy while promoting ethical leadership. There's more in the following report.
As a new initiative, Empowering Better Lives Foundation (EBLF) is dedicated to fostering holistic well-being and empowerment of children, adolescents and vulnerable communities. At a ceremony to outlaw the initiative in Accra, spouse of the 2024 NPP vice presidential candidate, Alma Pokua-Adade-Prempeh, indicated that the foundation aims to create a society that prioritizes mental health, inclusive education, menstrual hygiene, and financial literacy while promoting ethical leadership.
We will engage schools, communities, and policymakers to ensure that mental well-being is prioritized, not just as an afterthought, but as an essential part of a child's development. But we must go further. In addressing these challenges, we see an opportunity to empower the unemployed youth and young adults. The foundation will actively attract unemployed individuals to become caregivers for children with special needs, not just as an act of service, but as a meaningful career path.
Commonwealth Secretary-General Shelley Ayoko-Botchwey, while lauding the initiative, underscored the need for nurturing the youth as the future leaders of our society, a call former Information Minister Fatia Abubakar described as important to the development of the country.
It is a call to step forward, to take ownership of this mission, and to be active participants in this journey of change. My hope is that each year of EBLF existence will inspire us all by the lives it touches, the opportunities it creates, and the lasting impact it leaves for future generations. And so I urge all of you, governments, civil society, the private sector, and individuals to embrace this vision as your own.
This gathering is not just a celebration of a new foundation, but a call to action, a commitment to building a more inclusive, empowered, and compassionate society. Together, we can transform lives and strengthen communities.
In the coming days, the foundation is expected to roll out a number of programs aimed at achieving the broad objectives of empowering better lives across the country.
Moving on, Vice-Chancellor of Sunyani Technical University, Professor Kwejo Edinkra Appiah, has admonished students to exhibit a high sense of purpose and diligence in pursuing academic excellence for a successful career. Addressing fresh students offering different academic programs, he said the future leaders are not trained only in academics, but also in decent character formation for a meaningful contribution to national development. Precious Samevo has more.
At the 29th matriculation of Sunyani Technical University in Sunyani in the Bono region, 1,466 females were among 4,222 fresh students enrolled for the 2025 academic year to pursue various practically designed programs relevant to the needs of economic growth. Ahead of the swearing of matriculation oath, the Vice-Chancellor of STU, Professor Kwejo Edinkra Appiah, attributed a 25.6% increase in enrollment to intensified admission campaigns and publicity on industry-driven science, engineering, and TVET programs. He said improved patronage will contribute to more skilled graduates.
This significant rise in the student enrollment at the university can be attributed to a number of factors, including good performance of our students in the world of work. When patronage of such industry-driven programs is improved in the university, it will contribute to the production of more skilled graduates who can readily find jobs or set up their own businesses to reduce the unbridled youth unemployment.
He admonished the fresh students to exhibit a high sense of purpose in pursuing academic excellence for a successful career.
You are expected to exhibit a high sense of purpose and diligence in pursuing your academic career so that you can achieve the required skill sets and competencies that will make you successful in the world of work. You are the future leaders of this country. You are here to be trained, not only in academics, but also in decent character formation. That will make you responsible citizens in the future to contribute meaningfully to the development of Ghana.
Some retired university staff were rewarded for meritorious services to STU over the years. Precious Semevo, JoyNews, Sunyani.
Still in Sunyani, former Deputy Minister for Justice and Attorney General Alfred Tuah is advocating for leadership courses in schools to train young students in the importance of a good and responsible leader. Speaking at a leadership conference in Sunyani, Tuah said the cure to Ghana's problems and challenges lies with a responsible leadership, hence the need to embed in them at the young age. Precious Semevo again with this report.
The Maiden Leadership Conference in Sunyani, organized by the Integrity Upgrade Network Services, aims to advance the principles of responsible leadership, a catalyst for integrity, good governance, and national development. The conference afforded various personalities the chance to speak and engage the youth, in particular on the essence of charting the path of integrity in their everyday endeavor. Former Deputy Attorney General Alfred Tuah said in his address that Ghana has had its growth and development impeded by leadership issues, though the nation is not bereft of human and natural resources. To change the narrative and nurture a new generation of leaders with integrity, Tuah advocates for courses to train the young in schools on the importance of responsible leadership.
Without a responsible leader, the rising star, after liberation from the colonialists, will be a scar on us. I will, in my opinion, admonish schools to have courses on leadership so as to train our young ones the importance of having good leaders in our country. I'm making this suggestion because those universities here are already polluted. We've been corrupted. I again reiterate that without responsible leadership, which is the cure to our problems and challenges as a nation, the issues of unemployment, underdevelopment, and poverty will be diagnosed at various seminars like this one, symposia and events. Nonetheless, the disease will remain uncured if the question of leadership is eliminated from the equation.
On his part, the MP for Tano North, Gideon Boaku, said good leaders must be noted for fair and balanced decisions.
You see, sometimes we believe in ourselves so much, and we believe in things that we believe in so much, so that we think that should be the norm for people. And in so doing, we fail the integrity test in many respects because we close our eyes to the other side, their feelings, their personal beliefs, and we think that what we want is what must happen. That is not leadership with integrity. The leadership with integrity should be able to assess the other party's side. So, I mean, we are all young people here. We need to ensure that we take balanced decisions.
Precious Semevo, JoyNews, Sunyani.
You're watching Joy Newsroom with me, Emefa Akosiadeti. We go for a quick break. When we come back, the news returns. Welcome back to Joy Newsroom. Now, I'll take you to the OT region where lack of material resources still a challenge to quality healthcare delivery in the Biakoya district of the OT region. This is according to the District Health Director, Rita Rapa. She argues that in order for their services to reach the most deprived under her area, some urgent attention is needed, especially to the island communities where 3 maternal mortality cases have been recorded in recent times. Peter Senu has more in the following report.
The Biakuya district has over 70,000 potential clients. 66 hard-to-reach communities, with some of them located in the island communities of the Volta Lake. One doctor in the district is expected to attend to over 12,000 patients, while nurse-to-population ratio stands at 1:260. This means a large number of workforce is needed and a great deal of logistics required. This is the paramount concern for the District Health Director, Rita Urapa. She expressed the concerns during the District Health Performance Review for 2024.
Lack of resources, especially material resources to deliver health services to the unreached, the deprived area over bank. We lack service boats that will carry our members to the overbank to deliver quality service to the people. We also need funds to fuel the motorbikes and also to repair motorbikes. The motorbikes that we have are not so strong, so we need motorbikes that can help us deliver quality service. We have only one vehicle that was donated by Adesvat, and it's been almost 6 years now, and the vehicle cannot carry all of us throughout the district to deliver services.
Maternal mortality cases are also on the rise in the district. Rita explains why.
They don't start antenatal time. They wait until the pregnancy about 6-8 months, and moreover too, when they are referred for further management, they don't want to go. The condition becomes worse at their homes before they come to the hospital. And when they come, the only intervention is cesarean section. Sometimes when the operation is done, either the baby is already dead before they are coming, or the baby dies, which we normally call stillbirth. So there are a lot of challenges. For them even crossing from behind the waters to get to the community is also a big challenge. Our roads are not motorable, and I think the government needs to come to our aid.
The occasion was also used to honor some outstanding workers in the district. Justine Delali Agbamehia is a senior staff midwife who emerged the best midwife for the year under review. She is a midwife at Tapa Alavanyo Chips, an island community in the Biakuya district. Justine is urging her colleagues to be innovative at their roles to make a difference.
My advice for my colleagues is that our work should always be our #1 priority, because the works that are delivered in the towns, big hospital like the Konfanochi, the 37s, is the same work that we deliver in the villages. Yes, so the people in the villages, they also deserve the best. It is we that we take it upon ourselves. So no, I am one, they are more. Seeing them crossing the rivers, or just any means for them to access healthcare, we can take that sacrifice upon ourselves to be with them. Yes, for them to have a feel, or for them to also have the best of the services that we render.
Peter Senu for JoyNews.
Still in the OT region, a non-governmental organization, Fountain of Comfort Foundation, has launched an initiative aimed at improving the standard of education in the OT region. The initiative will see the provision of academic logistics, infrastructure, and human capacity building to contribute to improving the performance of pupils. The executive director of the foundation, Comfort Atta, said this when she presented logistics to some schools in distress in the region.
There is a wide spread of schools with infrastructure and logistic challenges across the OT region. The Lakeside Junior High School in Dambai, the regional capital, is a typical example. Housed in an uncompleted building, the school is grappling with the lack of furniture and academic materials. The headmaster explained they are handicapped in offering information and communication technology due to the lack of computers.
We have few. We have a mono Texas, almost 54, which are not enough. And then again, see our infrastructure, the uncompleted, the soil building, I think it needed to be completed as well. We are thinking of creating an ICT lab here, because we have cluster of schools. And so if again he can help us, or any NGO can come to our aid, we'll be much grateful.
In the Edukope Primary School, the situation is more severe as less than 10% of the school's population has decent furniture. They line up the window sections to have a little bit of comfort during lessons.
But the community is helping. If you look at this church structure, it was first built by the support of the political parties and then the community involvement. And unfortunately, it has been ripped off by a storm. And that is the time we are having now. Children too don't have some desk to sit on. If you can see, sometimes they sit on the wall while teaching and learning is going on.
It was for this reason that the Fountain of Comfort Foundation initiated an aggressive agenda to support these schools in distress. To kickstart the campaign, academic logistics were provided to 6 selected schools across 3 districts. Comfort Atta is the executive director of the foundation.
Over the years, yes, performance has not been that very bad, but we want to improve on their performances. And so once we are also from the enclave, OT enclave, we are motivated to come and support these deprived schools. And so for me, that is my motivation, so that we can get quality education in OT.
Fred Kwame Asari, Joy News.
Now, empowering the next generation of leaders, the Vaitito Global Youth Leadership Conference converges young minds from Ghana and the U.S. to harness the power of globalization and AI, driving innovative solutions for a rapidly changing world. That's more in the following report.
The Vaitito Global Youth Leadership Conference united youth with a strong leadership focus from Ghana and the United States to discuss contemporary leadership challenges. Keynote speaker, Commissioner DCOP Vance Gariba, emphasized the significance of artificial intelligence and technology in solving global problems.
This program is a wonderful one. These are the generation of our future leaders who have agreed wholeheartedly, accepted the challenge to lead this global community of ours. And I think the process of nurturing and developing, honing their skills, their leadership skills, it's more than welcoming than before. And importantly, for today's session, where they seek to look at artificial intelligence and how it affects leadership and how it helps to create a culture of innovation and creativity in our work environment, I think it couldn't have come at a better time than now.
Professor of International Business, Professor Joseph Ofori-Dankwa, highlighted valuable insights on leadership development and organizational change.
The major global issue trend that really requires the leader's attention is that of technology, and to be even more specific, this AI and this technologically driven processes. It is shaping the world. It is virtually, I would say, almost like a revolution that is going on. There have been different, let's say, like the Industrial Revolution and so on. This is a revolution that is ongoing, and therefore there is a certain imperative, there's a certain national imperative that nations should be aware of what is going on and be proactive to begin to harness resources and their capabilities in order to effectively manage this. If not, then the odds are others are going to be going. And then the divide that currently exists, the technological and computer-oriented divide between the nations that have and the nations that not. If we are not careful, this divide is going to be even more broader.
Dean of the Gimpa Business School, Professor Bernard Aqua, explained how artificial intelligence enhances education.
Definitely. You see, my area of specialization, I'm professor of entrepreneurship. So I teach entrepreneurship courses like identifying ideas, conducting feasibility, going out there to conduct market surveys. And we use AI. We encourage students to use AI. to even design questionnaires that they will take out there to conduct a market survey. We use AI when it comes to prototyping. So we give our students the opportunity to use some of these new instruments to increase their productivity.
Participant Ria Scholz emphasized why training future leaders in artificial intelligence and technology is crucial.
I think training young leaders about AI and technology is very important because oftentimes I think if they're too late to the game, they might not use it correctly or ethically enough. So I think exposure at a young age just helps support that ethical use of the technology.
The conference served as a platform for young leaders to interact, conduct research, and present new leadership concepts and challenges. Jennifer August report read to you.
Moving on, the African continent is still light years away from really achieving gender-inclusive governance where women are represented in all spheres of leadership. Empowering women in leadership, the African Women Political Leadership Summit convened female leaders and policymakers from across the continent to drive meaningful dialogue, inspire leadership, and chart a roadmap for gender-inclusive governance. There's more in the following report.
Themed Women and Politics in Africa, Progress, Challenges and Prospects. The summit brought together women leaders and governance experts to discuss strategies for enhancing female political participation, strengthening policy advocacy, and fostering inclusive leadership. Minister for Gender, Children and Social Protection, Dr. Agnes Namomulati, highlighted approaches for women to balance personal and professional responsibilities while sustaining their political careers.
It's a great year because we are celebrating 30 years of Beijing Declaration and then also 50 years of the National Women's Machinery in Ghana. Women over the years have been multitasking. I think one of the things we need to do what we do, we don't get so burnt out or so stressed out, is to call for help when we need help. We've been doing so much, and sometimes it makes us age so fast and burn out that we are not able to give off our best. Women are learning gradually, but it's a lesson that has to come up, that call for help when you need it.
The 2024 flag bearer of the Convention People's Party, Nana Akosua-Frimpong Sarpong Kumakuma, called for electoral reforms to promote gender-inclusive governance and increase women's participation in politics.
Indeed, I think one of the things that we need to push now with the Electoral Commission for electoral reform is to ensure that before the Electoral Commission will accept any political parties and be part of supervising the elections, a certain percentage must be women. If we did that alone, because there are more women at the grassroots, if that alone means that more women who join would now present themselves to be elected.
Executive Secretary of the Africa Political Party Initiative, Edith Tenva, addressed the challenges faced by women from diverse backgrounds and strategies to overcome them.
First of all, we need to increment dialogue between those people that has those type of disabilities and also the institutions. In the other side also, we need to think in terms of mentorship. We need to think in terms of mentorship, in terms of exchanging experience with women that are already in those positions, but also we need to think in terms of coaching.
A participant, Dr. Gwen Payton, emphasized the importance of such summits in enhancing the knowledge and capacity of women in politics.
As I was listening to the speakers, I was reflecting on what we are doing in the United States, and it's very similar. We are working to encourage women of all ages to be a part of our political arena because we do need more women at the table who are making decisions.
With strong advocacy for policy reforms and increased female representation, the summit reaffirmed a collective commitment to advancing gender-inclusive leadership across Africa. Jennifer August report, read to you.
Now, the highly anticipated documentary Omo Ghana Man for Chop premiered to a packed audience at Silverbird Cinemas in Accra Mall and West Hills Mall, captivated viewers with its powerful storytelling, rich historical depth and emotional resonance. The film, which explores migration narrative through an African lens, has been hailed as a must-watch for its compelling message. There's more in this report.
The highly anticipated documentary film Ghana Man for Chop premiered in grand style at Silverbird Cinemas, Accra Mall and West Hills Mall, captivating audiences with its powerful storytelling and historical depth. The premiere was met with an overwhelming response as film enthusiasts, industry professionals and history buffs filled the cinemas to witness this masterpiece. The film's compelling storytelling, rich cinematography and emotional depth resonated deeply with viewers, sparking engaging discussions after the screening. Speaking at the premiere, the filmmakers expressed their gratitude for the incredible turnout and emphasized the importance of telling migration stories through an African lens.
Premiere went very, very well. You saw the Q&A. It actually exceeded our expectations. We didn't know people would react like this. Lots of emotion, and clearly the subject of migration is one that we must even delve deeper and deeper into it. So we've even started thinking about the sequel, what next? So it is something that everybody must come watch.
Audience members shared their appreciation for the film's powerful message, with many calling it a must-watch for everyone interested in African history and migration narratives.
I'm a Nigerian. I came in from Nigeria to see this. It's a very poignant experience for me because I kind of was a little girl when this happened in the 1980s. I was about 4 years old when this decree was passed, and it kind of impacted negatively on me because many of our teachers had to leave.
We forget the history. And the Ghana Must Go bag is not just a bag. It's a bag that is deeply rooted in our history. It talks about migration and it talks about trauma. So to see this come to life has been an amazing experience, and I'm really thankful for that.
It teaches us a lesson in history, the need not to discriminate, the need to understand that diversity is important to the well-being of every society, but also more importantly for us to build inclusive societies.
Following the successful premiere, Ghana Man for Chop continues its cinematic journey with daily screenings at Silverbird Cinemas from February 28 to March 13, 2025.
We are for Joy Newsroom with me, MFA Akosia Adeti. For more news, do log on to myjoyonline.com. But don't be quick to go away, because the birthday month, Samson Anyanene, comes up with a big conversation on sextortion. Did you know that? Please stay.